staring directly through the room as if revealing a dangerous secret. What if the person standing right beside you, fighting to save your life, is actually the only reason you are slowly and quietly dying? Leyla, stepping from the shadows, her eyes cold as ice, her footsteps echoing. When your heart almost stopped in the middle of the night, Yaman, whose name did you scream out? Because it wasn't your fiancé's, it was hers. Leyla, looking around the decaying room with deep, sickening disgust. Look at this pathetic, absolute dump. We are literally 2 streets away from total squalor. Tell me the absolute truth, Asian. Are you sitting by his bed out of charity, or are you hiding something dangerous from the rest of us? Asyan, keeping her hands on the sick man's forehead, her voice dangerously calm. I am sitting here because he needed someone to actually care, Layla. But then again, you've always been far too busy looking down on his world to ever notice he was drowning right in front of you, haven't you? Leyla, stepping closer, her heels clicking sharply against the floor, her tone lethal. He is my fiancé. Tomorrow morning, I will walk into Pars's office and demand a real executive position for Yaman. I am going to drag him out of this miserable excuse for a life, whether he begs for it or not. Asyan, standing up slowly, stepping into Layla's personal space. Eye to eye, Yaman possesses something your money will never be able to buy: pride. Do you honestly believe a man like him would ever survive on your family's bitter leftovers and call it a life? Leyla, her phone vibrates loudly. She glances at the caller ID, answering it while keeping her eyes locked on Asian. Hey, babe. Yeah, I'm stuck down in the slums. Yaman's sick again. Don't worry, I'll review and email the $1 million pitch deck in 5 minutes. Some things in life actually matter. Asyan, leaning down to Yaman's feverish face, her voice dropping to a trembling whisper. I am right here. Tell me what really happened that night. I'm the only one in this room who is actually listening to your silence. Leyla, bursting back into the room, snatching her purse, her voice dropping to a terrifying whisper. What did you just do to him? Why is he looking at you like you hold the keys to his breath? Asyan, stepping back, her hands trembling, breathing heavily. He is delirious from the high fever. He didn't know who was touching his face. He thought I was you, or maybe. He was desperately wishing I was. Leyla, shoving Asian violently out of the way, grabbing Yaman's ice-cold hand, forcing a hollow smile. I'm here now, baby. The nightmare is over. You don't have to pretend for her anymore. Asyan, standing near the glass doors of the blinding hospital garden, staring at the motionless old man. He can feel the warmth out here, Selma Hanum. He isn't completely gone. Can't you feel him screaming from behind his closed eyes? Selma, scoffing bitterly, turning around with sharp resentment. Don't you dare stand there and lecture me on my own husband, girl. I have spent 25 painful, agonizing years sleeping by his side. I sat in the pitch-black darkness through every endless night wondering if he'd ever open his eyes again. And you walk in here like a stranger and claim you just feel something. Asyan, desperate, reaching out to grab Selma's trembling arm because he squeezed my hand earlier. I swear on my life, Selma Hanum. He is trapped inside the walls of his own mind, and he is desperately trying to fight his way back to us. Selma grabbing Allison's limp, breathless hand and forcing it violently into Asian's grip. Then prove it to me right now. If he loves you so much, if he listens to your voice, make him squeeze your hand again, Asian. Do it right now. Show me the proof. A suffocating, agonizing silence fills the air. The old man remains as cold and still as a stone statue. Selma, tears of absolute rage and heartache streaming down her pale face. Nothing, absolutely nothing. How dare you stop by and keep giving this grieving family false hope? You dragged a comatose, dying man into the freezing air just to chase a miracle that doesn't exist. You didn't save his life. You're going to give him pneumonia. We are taking him back inside right now. Pars, stepping firmly between them, his voice tight with rising frustration. Mother, please stop this. Calm down. Asian was only trying to help us when no one else knew what to do. Selma, pointing a manic, shaking finger directly at Asian's face. She does not belong in this family, Pars. Look at her. She acts like she possesses his very soul, like she knows his deepest secrets better than the woman who shared his bed and his debts for 3 decades. What is she really after? What is she hiding from us? Pars suddenly stopping in his tracks, his breath catching in his throat, his face turning completely pale. Dad. Selma falling to her knees on the cold tiles, bursting into hysterical, breathless sobs. Oh my God. Alishan, you opened your eyes. Look at me, my sweet husband, look at your wife. You're breathing, you're looking at me. Pars, crying openly, falling beside her, gripping his father's trembling shoulders. He's back. He's actually looking right into our eyes. Selma looking up through her blurred tears, her voice shaking uncontrollably as she locks eyes with Asian one last time. Because of you. I believe in miracles now. Tell me the truth, Asian. How did you know he was coming back? Asyan, a heavy, bittersweet smile playing on her lips as she slowly steps backward into the dark shadows. Because some miracles aren't meant to be owned or kept, Selma Hanem. They are only given to us to set us free from the lies we tell ourselves every single day. Leyla, stepping out into the quiet hospital corridor, her eyes fixed on Asian. You think you won today, don't you? You think waking up an old man wipes away what you're doing to Yaman behind my back? Asyan, stopping without turning around. If you were half as worried about Yaman's heart as you are about losing control over him, Layla, you wouldn't be standing here making threats. You'd be at his bedside. Leyla, walking up behind her, her voice dangerously close to her ear. I know what you did 5 years ago, Asian. I know why you really came back into our lives. And trust me, if Yaman ever finds out the real reason his life started falling apart the day you returned, he won't just walk away from you. He will despise you. Asyan, turning slowly, looking straight into Layla's eyes with zero fear. Then why haven't you told him yet, Layla? What are you so afraid he'll realize if he looks too closely at the past? Leyla, smiling coldly, her fingers tightening around her designer handbag. Because some secrets are much more painful when they are revealed at the exact moment someone thinks they're finally safe. Enjoy your little miracle, sister. The real nightmare hasn't even begun.